Hello everyone, welcome to BrickVault. The Sheathipede class transport shuttle has had many subtle variations within the Star Wars universe, but in this video I am going to show off 2 of 4 different LEGO versions, all designed by David Buckles. Specifically, what we have here in the studio is the tall-finned, separatist-colored unmanned shuttle, and certainly the most famous version of this shuttle, the Phantom II, which is a modified design to fit with the Ghost. Despite these 2 shuttles looking pretty similar, there is in fact a lot of varied differences worth taking a closer look at. But first, before we jump in any further, if you think you'd like to build a model like this on your own, the instructions can be found at our web store, www.brickvault.toys. Included with each purchase is the PDF step-by-step building guide and a digital parts list for quickly uploading online to order your pieces. And oh wait, I almost forgot, there is also a graphic for the Phantom II that if you wanted to, you could print out onto sticker paper for just a little bit of extra detailing. And buying instructions is an excellent way to help support what we do here at the channel, and you're also helping to support some amazingly talented builders that we work with, just like David. He's got a lot of awesome minifig scale Star Wars models built in the web store already, and he's got an extra excellent eye for walkers, I might say. Do Sheathipedes count as walkers? They got landing gear that looks like legs at least. I suppose that's kind of meeting it halfway there. They are in fact designed to look similar to the Nemoidian soldier beetle. Let's start with the Phantom II. It's got more than just a paint job to match the Ghost. This shuttle is heavily modified. In fact, in the episode where you see them taking these shuttles, they look a lot closer to this separatist one with the taller fin. The Phantom II was altered to fit an astromech port that I think was specifically installed for Chopper. For the model, it's just Chopper's head here, by the way, not the entire astromech body, and also it was modified to have forward-mounted laser cannons, and the Ghost crew also installed some rear-mounted turrets. This time you can see in LEGO they're done with those little drill bit pieces. On top of that, the fin in the center was significantly reduced in size, and there's also an extra bit of armor, some type of build painted in blue added to the back on either side. Perhaps this was added there to help it connect with the Ghost, but I can't be sure. Right, so now let's jump into the part of the process where we add it to the Ghost, because I'm sure that's what you guys have maybe been waiting for. What we noticed is when the model is made accurately with the folding landing gear, it then bumps a little bit into the side walls. So in order to get the Phantom II to fit, first the landing gear must be removed. I know this isn't an ideal option for some, but the designer here did a pretty good thing. The legs are both easy to manipulate when attached to the body and you don't accidentally break them off, but he also created a good breaking point so you don't have to rebuild the small intricate little connection joints. Essentially, they stay on when you want them to stay on, they come off easily when you want them to come off, and on top of that, we've modified the top plates of the Ghost just a little bit for these pieces here. It helps keep the model totally flat. The bottom of the Sheathipedes are very smooth, so even a plate's height different here can kink the angle of the ship when landed, and after all these pieces are removed, you now have the Phantom II docked with the Ghost. It's a decently snug fit. The back of the wall there is just hitting the end, and you can see where a bit of that extra armor overlaps the top wall just by a hair. David specifically designed this ship to fit in this way, so it's accurate to the show. And taking a step back, it does look pretty darn good once it is nestled into the body of the Ghost. Proportionally, the Phantom II works well sitting in the back here. In general, I don't want to take it off, and when this video ends, I'm pretty much gonna always have it sitting in the back of the Ghost. But there are more things to get into for this model, so we might as well open up the cockpit from here. This little assembly stays on with just 2 studs, and on the inside there's detailing for 2 seats, but don't let that fool you though. There is in fact fact only space to fit one fig in the center. There's a little bit of detailing as well that shows off some control console pieces. And then for the interior, you just lift the top fin right off the model. It's in fact not studded in and stays in place with staggered tiles fitted between some plates. And when you look in the interior itself, it is modeled to look like how it does roughly from the Rebels show. There are some patches of studs on the bottom for better minifigure placement, and now I feel like I do need to take the Phantom 2 out of the Ghost to show you the final features. This one here is definitely the niftiest. When you twist the cylindrical 2x2s on either side of the ship, it operates a few gears on the inside and the doors slide open. It looks pretty cool as a function and it works consistently and smoothly. And on top of that, the studded floor you saw a second ago is in fact part of a ramp that slides out and folds down. It's a pretty cool feature, honestly, for such a small model, and pretty accurate to how it should work in the show roughly. And I suppose now it's a pretty good time to segue on over to the Separatist Sheathipede shuttle by comparing the exact same features. You'll see quickly that they are totally different models. The doors slide open by twisting a single gear on just one side of the model. This opens the doors simultaneously, and it is a 100% different mechanical function on the inside. The ramp also pulls out and folds down, but this time there is no catch to prevent it from sliding all the way out. And now I'm showing you the interior of this ship from this close shot due to the fact that the top fin cannot be removed. The angles are subtle enough and different enough, and the gear function for the doors is different enough that it just can't be taken off logistically, so you cannot get into the interior, and that is why the sliding ramp can be taken all the way out in case you wanted to place minifigures in there first and then slide it in. It's not necessarily meant for posing. You can't really see, but you can definitely store figs in there no problem. This shuttle is one of the auto driving models, so there is no cockpit required for this one, and instead you have a slow descending set of curved bricks that attempts to illustrate the smooth shape of the shuttle. You may also notice that the shuttle's legs, or landing gear, can keep it off the ground. This is different from the Phantom 2, where the legs have an extra joint and are mostly just there for show, but here you can see that the Separatist shuttle legs have a pretty decent stance, and they also don't fold into the body quite the same way that they would on the Phantom 2. The back legs sort of crisscross, and the bottom legs kind of wrap around the underside of the hull. Now, looking at both models together, it's pretty apparent. I mean, almost every single little angle and all the pieces used to build up just about every part of each ship is fundamentally a different design. So that is why I wanted to show these two out of the four together, just to show you guys how different and how much time David put into making the slight variations on the Separatist shuttles. When it comes to this first of the tan versions that you see here, that is in fact basically just a recolor of the Separatist colors to tan, and very little in terms of design has changed for this model. A few greebling pieces here and there, but for the most part it stays pretty true to the same design that you see in gray and blue. Then switching over to the next tan Separatist shuttle. This is the piloted version. It's not a color variation of the Phantom 2 by any means. In fact, it is still much more similar to the last two we looked at, only now the cockpit area has been modified with a windscreen and a little bit of space along with a control console to fit a couple of droid pilots. I almost forgot to include the handling section of this video. Both of the models have some weak points here and there, but I'm showing you here that that fin, even though it's not studded in, can actually stay on pretty well at a harsh angle. I'm holding the model a little bit awkwardly here, but trying to grab onto some of the extremities, and in general just handle it as much as I can. Here I'm intentionally pulling off a piece of the back fin that's held on by not too much, so that piece can fall off a little bit, but frankly the Phantom isn't too bad to handle. Sometimes I break a foot off the end of the landing gear, but so far nothing too major. When moving on to the Sheathipede class shuttle, you can pick it up by the top fin, which is nice. Some of the bottom plate detailing for the hull is held up by some friction. You can pull off that little antenna there, and basically everything else on the body is pretty much rock solid. It is a super solid build here. The legs are Technicked on there, so they stick a little bit nicer. There I am just operating the gear feature for the doors in the back. And when you place the shuttle down, the legs can tilt a little bit side to side. You've seen me correct it a few times in the video. Anyways, David did an excellent job putting together these 4 different models. Even the ones that are similar actually have a few fun little changes here and there the closer you look. And remember, if you did want to build any of these ships, you can find the instructions at our web store, www.brickvault.toys. It's an excellent way to help support the channel, and if you do enjoy our content, you can always like, subscribe, share the video, do whatever it is that you want to do. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.